Sup, boys? Vlogs.
470, reduce right back now to final approach speed. You're catching up at 319 at the moment by 30 knots. And I'll give you landing clearance a bit later on. 470, reduce to final. Lufthansa 470, are you able to visually switch over to runway 24 left? Lufthansa 470, roger. Visually switch now to runway 24 left. And you are clear to land on runway 24 left, the wind is calm. Land 24 left, Lufthansa 470. 0.7, 0.9 please, bye.
I've been planning this trip for a while. I work at Lufthansa, obviously. I've been there for about 5 years. And I've wanted to take my kids on this plane, the Boeing 747-800. Our plane was super busy, so we weren't going to fit on it. So the next best thing, well, maybe the sixth best thing, is flying Air Canada Rouge. A very tight squeeze. Kids will be fine. Me, I'm not sure. Since it's summer, you don't know what to expect. Are we going to fit on the plane? But with this one day before, you get to see the numbers. And look, 85 open seats, 10 people stand by, 3 of them us. So might as well check in for the flight and grab the kids in the morning and head off to the airport. Maybe on the way home, the kids will be able to fly on the Boeing 747. So basically, we're heading off for 18 days. Heading from Toronto, I thought going into Prague would be a good stepping stone into Europe because then we can get to different places very easily. Plus, Prague is a really cool city. So we're going to spend about 3 days in Prague and then go north to Berlin for a water park. From Berlin, basically head over to Portugal, stop in Lisbon for about 4 days, where we'll then fly into Zurich, use it as a gateway, spend about a day in Zurich, where we'll then take a train through the Alps to Innsbruck, 3 days in Innsbruck, before making our way home. Heading home, we'll take a train to Vienna, and then a train to Prague, to then fly home to Toronto. The whole trip was fun to plan out, and now it's upon us. So we'll see how the planning goes, and we'll just make up a little bit as we go along. But there's always lots of fun stuff to do in the cities.
Heading to the airport on the Up Express. Canada is looking to cut expenses by adding more seats to their planes. It's a practice called densing up, and as this video shows, it has its advantages.
Hi there. At Air Canada, we know exactly what our customers want. Less leg room. You know, other airlines, they have their seats 30 inches apart, which is very dangerous when you think about it. That's why now we're providing you with even more cozy leg immobility by increasing the smallness of that gap to 3 inches. No more squinting at that seatback TV all the way up there. Now it's right in front of your nose. And thank you for choosing Air Canada. Remember, we know what our customers want. We just don't care.
Great takeoff 23, rears 1816.
If you've ever looked at a flight tracker sometime around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, you might have noticed something. Perfect lines of planes stretching all the way to Europe. The night before, every airline that will fly across the Atlantic the following day sends Gander a preferred route message, indicating what they think the best route will be. For the most part, Gander Center follows these requests and creates a set of 10 or so routes. These tracks attempt to get the most amount of planes on the most efficient route to Europe. The tracks are labeled, Zulu being the southernmost route, Yankee being the second southernmost, then X-ray, then Whiskey, and so on and so forth. About when the plane crosses the Gulf of St. Lawrence, the pilot will request the North Atlantic track that he or she desires. Sometimes they'll tell us to take a different track, usually because we're closer to another plane than the minimum separation distance. Since it's much more difficult to know where planes are over the North Atlantic, they're required to be 15 minutes separated, about 140 miles, rather than the normal 5 miles in areas with radar coverage. Assuming we're granted clearance, we'll head towards the Raffin waypoint and make sure that our satellite communication systems are working. Then we'll check to see if our high-frequency radio is working, a backup in case other communications go down. Minutes later, just after passing Raffin waypoint, the controller will say, "Radar services terminated. Have a good night." And we're on our own. All the North Atlantic tracks are preloaded onto autopilot, so there's really nothing to do except wait. When we hit 30 degrees west, we'll enter the Shanwick airspace approaching Western Europe. We switch our radios to Shanwick's frequency and fly a few more hours to our oceanic exit point, Gunzo Waypoint, meaning we've successfully traversed the Northern Atlantic.
Rouge 1922, Rosnito, good morning. Continue approach runway 24.
Clear to land 24, Rouge 1922.